that I am available, but through my lawyers. And I want to tell South Africans that should anything happen to me, the National Commissioner, General Masemola, will be responsible. I thank you.
You must have watched the video of Cedric Nkabinde, the Chief of Staff to Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, speaking with a mix of fear and determination after a shocking incident on Wednesday evening. Around 7 p.m., a group of masked men carrying heavy weapons forced their way into his apartment. They didn't sneak in quietly, they stormed in with precision, as if they knew exactly who they were looking for. According to Nkabinde, his brother, who opened the door, was told by the intruders that they were acting under direct instructions from National Police Commissioner General Fannie Masemola. Now, let's pause for a moment. Imagine that, armed men claiming to be sent by the head of the South African Police Service, targeting the Chief of Staff to the Minister of Police himself. If that doesn't sound like something straight out of a political crime thriller, I don't know what does. Shortly after the ordeal, Cedric Nkabinde made a statement that has now sent shockwaves through political circles. He said, "Should anything happen to me, General Fannie Masemola will be responsible." That's a bold accusation, one that doesn't just raise eyebrows, but potentially opens a can of worms within the very institution tasked with protecting the nation. For context, Nkabinde's position isn't minor. As Chief of Staff to Minister Senzo Mchunu, he's at the center of government coordination on policing matters. He manages sensitive information, schedules, and internal communication. So when someone like that claims to be under threat from people linked to the top police command, it's not just gossip, it's a full-blown crisis. And here's where things get even more interesting. General Fannie Masemola's name has already been making headlines for the wrong reasons. Recently, South Africa's Inspector General of Intelligence recommended that Masemola and former crime intelligence head Peter Jacobs Kumalo face criminal charges for the irregular purchase of properties worth about R120 million. The properties were allegedly bought for covert operations, but auditors found serious irregularities in how those funds were spent. So, when Cedric Nkabinde suddenly claims he's being hunted by men who say they report to Masemola, the timing raises all sorts of red flags. Could it be a coincidence? Or could someone be trying to silence a man who might know too much about internal corruption? Inside the police ministry, whispers of tension between Minister Senzo Mchunu and General Masemola have been circulating for months. Mchunu is seen as a reformer, a no-nonsense administrator trying to clean up SAPS and re-establish public confidence. Masemola, on the other hand, represents the old establishment within the police force, a career officer deeply entrenched in the system. The two have reportedly clashed over disciplinary actions and the restructuring of crime intelligence. So, when Nkabinde's apartment gets raided, some insiders immediately saw it as a sign that those internal divisions have now turned into open warfare. A political source told one outlet that the situation inside SAPS has reached breaking point, adding that some officers are now more loyal to factions than to the constitution. That's a terrifying thought, because it means the line between political rivalry and state power might be blurring. Meanwhile, the Commissioner's office has denied any involvement, calling Nkabinde's claims false and defamatory. But South Africans are not easily convinced these days. After all, we've seen how quickly internal fights within law enforcement can escalate, from the Follen scandals to the crime intelligence corruption sagas. There's also the question of security. If a senior government official's home can be invaded by armed men claiming to have official orders, what does that say about the state of national security? If the Chief of Staff to the Police Minister isn't safe, who is? People close to Nkabinde say he's been living under stress for weeks. He's received strange calls, cars parked outside his home, and unknown individuals asking about his whereabouts. Whether or not those claims are verified, they add to a growing picture of paranoia inside the country's security agencies. Minister Senzo Mchunu has reportedly demanded an urgent internal briefing. He's said to be furious and deeply concerned, though he's yet to make a public statement. Some ANC insiders believe this could spark an even deeper probe into SAPS leadership, potentially leading to resignations or even criminal charges if evidence links anyone to intimidation or unlawful conduct. The opposition has already jumped in. The DA is calling for an independent inquiry, saying the matter cannot be left to the police to investigate themselves. The EFF, never one to miss an opportunity, accused the police ministry of turning the state's guns on its own officials. That statement might sound dramatic, but in the current climate, it resonates. And you can't ignore the political context. The new government is already dealing with internal rifts and public frustration over service delivery, corruption, and power-sharing disputes. A scandal like this, linking the top levels of law enforcement to alleged intimidation, only deepens the sense that the system is unstable. South Africans are watching closely. Some see Nkabinde as a whistleblower trapped in a dangerous game. Others think this could be a calculated political move to weaken Masemola and shift control of SAPS. Either way, it's clear that what's unfolding here is bigger than one man's apartment being broken into. It's about power, loyalty, and fear within the state itself. For now, there's no confirmation of arrests or CCTV footage from the scene, but if the story checks out, it could force the president's hand. Cyril Ramaphosa might be compelled to step in to stabilize the ministry and reassure the public that no one, no matter how powerful, is above the law. So where does this leave Cedric Nkabinde? Some might say he's now marked, others say he's protected because he's made his accusations public. Either way, his bold warning, naming the National Commissioner directly, has made it impossible for this story to be swept under the rug. It's a story that combines mystery, politics, and danger, all set within the corridors of power. And as usual in South Africa, the truth will take time to surface, and when it does, it will probably surprise us all. So, what do you think? Was this a real assassination attempt, a warning shot, or a political stunt? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share your theories, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe so we can keep unpacking the biggest stories shaking South African politics. See you next time.